Hi, so this is going to be about a 10-minute video. I do want to tell you before we start that we did the academic planning workshop with all the ninth graders and their families. So there's another video that has all the slides that you can access. It's in your ninth grade classroom, so you can access them all. It's also under the Santa Cruz High School Counseling. So it's called Academic Planning Workshop for Ninth Graders. Now, the last part that we did with the ninth graders was choosing your classes. So the way you're going to choose your classes is through Google Classroom. So if you go to student Gmail, so go to your student Gmail, there's the icon for the 9 dots in there. You open it up, you go to your classroom, obviously where you have the other classes as well. Now I have all the grade levels. You're gonna access your ninth grade. If you don't have the ninth grade freshman, you won't be able to access the form. So make sure you send us an email so we can give you permission. All of you should have it, but if you deleted it, we can re-invite you. So you go to the ninth grade freshman, you go to classwork. This is where you have all the forms. So wait, it's somewhere in the bottom. It's called Academic Planning Workshop. This is for the ninth graders from the counselors. And there's a couple of things that you have, the 4-year plan, the Navians. Don't worry about that right now. Right now, we're just going to focus on the scheduling part. So you want to access the materials. So all the materials are how to contact us, the A through G, information for counselors, the course offerings, the math. I'm going to open up the math, okay? That's the math. Okay, I'm going to show you the math in a second. And I'm going to show you the course offerings and then the science. So I'm going to show you all those so that way you can see the program. Okay. Where's my Google Classroom? Wrong one. Let me open it up again. Okay, so you can access those forms there. So again, you go Google Classroom, Academic Planning Workshop. Okay, so the one that you're gonna submit for your classes for next year, you're gonna submit this. It's due by next week. It was due already, as you can see, November 24th. You click on it, and your form is here. I was just working on it earlier. Let me just kind of put it back to normal, the way it was. Okay. Okay, so now the English 2, the top one. So obviously you're gonna put your last name, your first name, and you're gonna submit it. Okay. You put your first name, your last name. The RSP case manager if you have a tutorial or if you have a case manager like an IP, like Ms. Block is one of our case managers, or Mr. Alvo. If you don't have a case manager or you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably don't have one. You just put not available. Okay, so you're gonna select the class. You're gonna do either English 2 or English 2 honors for next year. If you're doing well in an English class, it has to be a B or higher. If you like reading and writing, you can choose this class. It does give you the grade bump, so you can select that. If you're not taking English to next semester, but traditionally you're a good student, you like to do English, writing and reading, you can select the honors, okay? If not, English 2 still counts A through G, so you're fine. Same thing with history. You got to select the world history or world history honors. So I'm not a big fan of social science, sorry. Now, if you want to challenge yourself and do a lot of reading, writing, presentations a little more in depth, you can do the honors. If not, you can just do regular. And you can either do both honors or just regular or a combination, like myself. The Avid World History is a program for students to help them that are first generation going to college. They get a little more support, tutorials. So you're currently in ninth grade in Avid. So if you're one of those students, you would put Avid anywhere here again. Okay. Now, let me go to number 3. And this said science. I'm just putting it back to the original. said, it matches your form. Okay, now these are to guide you. So I put the numbers so that way you can just kind of see that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Minimum of 6 classes. So you can have open if you want. You can have 7 classes or you can have 8. It's up to you. The point is that you need to be able to manage either 7 or 8 and do well. Now I'm going to show you the math. Okay, so let me find the math. It's somewhere over here. If your math, if you're taking Mr. Kumaishi or Mr. Pillsbury, you're doing the math class, and then you're doing the algebra. It's called math and then algebra foundations in the spring. If you're doing this class, this is kind of like a remedial math, helping you with math. You would go into integrated 1A and then integrated 1B in the spring. Okay. Oops, I don't want to write it. If you are, it's making me write. Sorry. If you're currently taking integrated 1A and then you're scheduled to do integrated 1B in the spring, you would go into integrated 1, trying to lower it, but it doesn't let me because I did something obviously. You would go into integrated 2 in the fall and then integrated 3 in the spring. Where's my little thing here? Obviously, I'm not very techy, right? Okay, let me go back to the math. Okay, there we go. Sorry, you guys. So you would do integrated 2 in the fall and then integrated 3 in the spring. If you're taking integrated 2 now and you're scheduled to do integrated 3 in the spring, you would go to trigonometry and if you want, introduction to calc. This would allow you to go into AP Calc BC as a junior. Or you can just do trigonometry, 1 class as sophomore, and then AP Calc AB as a junior. So just follow this path. Okay. If you're in Math Academy 1, you would just go into Math Academy 2. If for some reason you just want to finish Math Academy 1 and don't do Math Academy 2, you sort of did integrated 1B, integrated 2, and you would go into integrated 3. Okay, so let me show you how you would write that. So you would go into, let's just pretend that I'm doing integrated 1A and then 1B in the spring, which is kind of the most common. Integrated Math 2. Math department recommends both. Integrated Math 3. If you know the course number, you can write it. If you don't, that's okay. And somewhere in here, you can find the course offerings. So you can choose the classes and the course number. But again, you don't have to worry about the course number too much. So that's this. That's the course number. So if I do integrated 2, that's 04120. And then you have all the electives: French, Spanish, ceramics, art, all the electives. Okay. You don't need an alternate for that. Now, a science or world language. So if you're currently taking biology, which is what most of the 9th graders are taking, you would go into chemistry or physics. Now, this is sort of we have to update the new one. The science department, because of the new standard science core, they want all students to do biology, physics, and chemistry. That's the kind of like the new standard where you do all 3 standards. And then after that, you do any elective below here: AP Biology, AP Chemistry, Physiology Honors. So you can do that. So next year, you would choose physics or chemistry, or both if you want. So let me just say physics. You just need biology and physics to graduate, but if you want to take more sciences, you can do physics and then chemistry, or just one. I would just suggest one, okay? Now, let's just say you do physics, and then your 6 could be, again, these are to help you. You can erase them if you want. The last one should be either your world language, or if you're taking Spanish 2, you would do Spanish 3, and then you can do Spanish 4 if you want. Okay, and then you can leave open if you want. So that's one choice. Or you can just say, I just want to finish up the Spanish 3, and then maybe an open. And then you can specify if you want open fourth or first. It's up to you. Now, if you are not taking world language or you're done, you could do like ceramics and then your alternate. So for an elective, you do have to have an alternate. So it could be graphic design or anything else you want. Okay, so that's how you fill out the form. So again, you do minimum 6 up to 8, unless you do 0 period sports conditioning. That there's only 2 classes that are 0 period, and that's jazz if you're in band. You do jazz or sports conditioning, which will give you the other PE credits. Those are the only 2 that would give you up to the 9 class. If you're in band, it takes 2 spots. You have a tutorial case manager, takes 2 spots. Okay. If you're in Math Academy, it takes 2 spots right here. If you're in the Avid World History, you would write takes 2 spots. There's a ASB leadership, takes 2 spots. And choir. So the ones that I can think of on top of my head. Other than that, good to go. So if you have any questions, once you're done filling out the form, don't worry about the signatures. Just check with your parents, show that to them, and then there's a button at the top that says submit or turn in form. You submit it, and you're good to go. Now, if you have questions, we will see you on Monday, and then, or you just send us an email, and then we communicate with you via email so that way you can submit your form. So these are the classes for next year. So you have to submit it again through the Google Classroom. Okay, sounds good? Thanks.